For me, this week marks 3 years as a full-time content creator, which, where did the time go? I've said it before and I'll say it again. This really is my dream job, and I feel so lucky and grateful to be able to call content creation my career. The last 3 years have been filled with ups and downs, aha moments, creative ruts, and so much more in between. But I thought it would be a great idea to sit down today and share my top 5 lessons and takeaways that I've learned in the last 3 years as a self-employed content creator. So for background, if you're new here, hi, I'm Austen. I am a full-time micro-influencer. I'm based in Hoboken, New Jersey, right across the river from New York City, and I've been creating content online since 2012, and I've been full-time since April 2021. I have previously worked as a magazine editor and as the content director for a tech startup before deciding to take the leap and go all in with content creation. So let's get right into the 5 lessons that I've learned since transitioning to being a content creator full-time. I think the first and most important one is to never forget your why. If you want to go all in with content creation, you want to think about the type of creator that you're going to be and what makes you unique in this crazy world of the creator economy. Your why will guide so much in your business, from the type of content you create to the ways that you actually choose to monetize and run your business. I really think that it's so important that you never lose sight of this, because there will be times where you are going to need to resolve tech glitches on your website, or you're going to be filing legal paperwork for your business by yourself and wonder who put you in charge of this. But you have to remember your why and your guiding principle, and at the end of the day, everything you're doing is going to be in service of that and how you show up for your community. I genuinely believe that you can handle anything that's thrown at you as a full-time content creator if you build a business based on that guiding intention and principle that you set for yourself when you start creating content. Whether it's to make moms feel less alone if they're breastfeeding late in the middle of the night, or whether it's to help women navigate the beauty industry more easily by quickly pointing out all of the best affordable drugstore beauty options. So whatever your why is, just never forget that, especially on the hard days or the days where it feels like it's too much to handle. Because spoiler alert, you actually can handle it. If you're not totally clear on your why, or you're looking for a little bit of help here, I do have a quiz inside of my free guide, The Influencer Launchpad, which if you haven't grabbed your copy yet, you can do so from the link down below in the description box, where I talk through 3 kind of different creator archetypes, and this quiz will give you a quick indication of which one of those archetypes you mainly fall into, and it can really help if you're looking to write out a new mission statement or redefine your why as a content creator. So definitely check out that free resource at the link down below. Lesson number 2 is to always be flexible. And I will be the first to admit that this was one of the hardest ones for me to learn. Flexibility has always been something that I've struggled with. I am a big planner. I like being in control, and I like knowing what's going to happen next, which is probably one of the reasons why it's good that I'm self-employed. There are just a lot of moving parts when you are a full-time content creator, so even if you became self-employed thinking, oh great, now I won't need to deal with anyone else and I can just do what I want to do all the time, you'd still be surprised how even in a one-person company, you will need to be flexible, and you will need to even be flexible with yourself too. Maybe you woke up and had big plans to do an outdoor photo shoot where you were going to take your tripod out and self-shoot, but it's pouring rain, and that would just be a logistical nightmare to do by yourself, so you need to rearrange your plans for the day and reschedule the shoot. Your willingness to adapt and be flexible is one of your greatest assets as an entrepreneur, and it's something that has just come up time and time again over the last 3 years that I am just continuing to try to improve and work on for myself. Let's talk a little more about something I mentioned in the last lesson, which is outsourcing in your business. I actually have a whole separate video about outsourcing as an influencer, so I'll be sure to leave that link down below in case you'd like to check it out. Even though for many of us as content creators, the process starts with us talking to a camera in our apartments by ourselves, like I'm doing right now, or just picking up your phone and making a TikTok one day, you'd be surprised how much you could actually benefit from support in your business, and that support can come in various different forms. I talk more specifically about the details of this over in the outsourcing video, but even when we talk about outsourcing, you might think that means, well, I'm not ready to hire a full-time employee yet. And that doesn't always have to be the case, especially in 2024, where remote work is so prominent and we have so many amazing technology options that can help us in our businesses. Outsourcing might look like using an AI software to start transcribing your YouTube videos so you can turn them into blog posts, or you might go so far as to hire an online business manager for your business, but you can find a balance of what works best for you. Maybe outsourcing will be specifically for contractors. Some examples of outsourcing with contractors that I've used in my business include video editing, legal services, and virtual assistant services for my course launch. And you could also consider outsourcing through softwares. Like I mentioned, an AI transcription software. I use one of those to transcribe my YouTube videos, or maybe even a third-party scheduling app to distribute your content across all of your social media platforms. So those are all great options and ways to outsource in your business. And if you're nervous about outsourcing, remember you can always start small and build from there. Maybe instead of hiring a full-time bookkeeper who's going to help you every single day of the year in your business, you can hire an accountant to assist you with filing your taxes. Like I mentioned, I also used a virtual assistant just during my course launch. So that was just extra assistance that I received from January through March. So that was just the term of our contract. I don't really need a virtual assistant right now, or, maybe I do. It's just finding the time to actually reach out and figure out exactly what that person would help with, which is something that I would need to figure out as a business owner. But anyway, understanding what you're not the best at or what you don't need to be personally involved with in your business, and outsourcing those tasks is one of the things that is not only going to make you, a better CEO and give you management skills and communication skills, but it's also just going to free up time of yours that is so precious that should be spent on what you are best at, which is being a creator, coming up with ideas, and building a community with your audience. The next lesson that I've learned is about the power of long-form content. I mean, obviously you find value in long-form content as well if you are sitting here watching this YouTube video, but when I talk about long-form content, I am really talking about YouTube channels, blog posts, podcast episodes, basically anything longer than, 3 to 5 minutes that is going to help someone really get to know, like, and trust you. There are so many benefits to long-form content. I've actually been thinking about filming a video on that topic. So if that's something you'd be interested in seeing from me, would you please let me know in the comments down below if you'd like a video on that topic. But not only does it help someone get to know you better because, you can show more of your personality in long-form content than you can in a 15-second TikTok. And it's not to say that you can't follow a creator on TikTok who creates videos that are 15 seconds long and not get a sense of their personality, but it kind of comes back to just the number of hours clocked by someone's side. So when you think about, people who you've lived with, maybe your college roommates or your significant other, you probably know so much about them just by the amount of time you spend with them because you live together. And that is something that is a huge consideration, not only in how well your audience and community can really get to know you, but also in the potential for ad revenue that you could earn over the course of many years. As you all know, I'm super passionate about influencers having passive income streams. In fact, I even teach an entire course about passive income streams called the Influencer Income Accelerator. And when I look back on the last 3 years, my largest passive income stream is ad revenue. And I earn ad revenue here on my YouTube channel through the YouTube Partner Program and over on my blog, Keep Calm and Chiffon, where I am part of the She Media ad network. Investing in long-form content also allows you to increase your revenue, as I just talked about, because each time someone views my YouTube videos and they also happen to view an ad that is, before my video or maybe in the middle of the video, somewhere placed wherever YouTube decides it should go, I will make money from that, whether or not someone clicks on the ad or actually goes to buy something. We as a society overall have gotten a lot more used to seeing ads now, whereas, ads used to be kind of cumbersome. We understand that advertising is just a part of especially social media these days, and so we're a lot more willing to put up with ads if it means that we are still able to see content for free. So even though creating YouTube videos and writing a good blog post are the two kind of content creation activities that take me the most time to do, I still see the highest return on my investment from creating those two types of content. So choosing one place to create long-form content is really one of the best things that I think you can do as a content creator, especially if you want to have longevity as a content creator, whether, like I said, that's a YouTube channel, a blog, or even a podcast. And I know that some people get overwhelmed with long-form content, but you can easily find and choose a type of long-form content that works best for you, that fits in best with your own workflow and the way that you like to create content. So if that means that you like to create by sitting on your couch in your pajamas, you could easily write blog posts or record a podcast without video in that very spot. If you like the look of more produced content, like, with lights and a camera and a good microphone like I have here for my YouTube channel, then maybe that is the type of content you prefer to create. And I also love that you don't have to create an overwhelming amount of long-form content. I usually post one long-form piece of content here on YouTube and one blog post a week, and I am still able to grow, see results from those types of content, and earn ad revenue on those blog posts and YouTube videos because people will discover them through search years after I've created them. And the next and maybe most important lesson that I've learned about being a full-time content creator is that not everyone needs to be a full-time content creator. I mean, when we look at the last 4 years in the creator economy, it is impossible to ignore the growth that we've seen. By the end of 2023, the Influencer Marketing Hub reported that the entire influencer industry was valued at over $21 billion. And so much of that growth has been exponential in the last few years, thanks to the introduction of TikTok and Instagram Reels that have really democratized content creation and allowed anyone to be a creator with in-app editing tools just by using their phones. In addition to that, we've seen a lot of people basically quit their day jobs to pursue content creation as part of the Great Resignation you might remember from late 2020, early 2021. And I'm technically a part of that too, because I left my job in April of 2021. However, I'm starting to notice that more and more people who became full-time content creators recently are, not loving it as much as they thought they would be, are stressed trying to, secure brand deals every month and are just not finding it very sustainable. And many of them are either, posting a lot less frequently because maybe for a while they were posting 5 TikToks a day trying to grow that platform, and that's just not realistic and something that you can actually sustain for years and years later, especially if this is your full-time job. And I've seen a lot of full-time content creators who are frustrated, who are burned out, and some of whom are even, looking for a full-time job again so that they don't have to deal with the pressure that comes with being a full-time content creator. And that pressure can certainly be there. And even if you have 40 hours a week or more to dedicate towards content creation, I can tell you from personal experience, when I, was working full-time, I thought oh my God, when I have the chance to just spend all day creating content, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like, no breaks. I'm just going to be so creative. I'm just going to be like a content machine. And that is just so not realistic, especially in a creative job. Even though I am sometimes out and about shooting content or attending events in the city for work, a lot of times, and I hope this isn't too much of a disappointment or a bombshell for people, but a lot of the times I'm sitting right over there at my desk, I'm on my laptop, and I'm answering emails, I'm doing work, I'm dealing with just things that pop up at a 9-to-5 job as well. And of course, there are parts of this career that are really fun and glamorous, like getting sent free products from your favorite brands or getting invited by a brand to an event and they give you an Uber code or offer to dress you. But this is also a job, just like a lot of other jobs. And at the end of the day, you still have to get your work done. So that's why I think it's so important for me to reiterate, I'm here for support and for questions for anyone who is considering taking content creation full time. And I think it is an incredible career and can be extremely fulfilling, but not everybody needs to be a full-time content creator. If you have ever felt that pressure or you've been wondering if you should do it and you're not sure you want to do it, it is more than okay to do content creation as a side hustle. You could post one TikTok a month if you want to. If you love it because you love it, that is like one of the best things. And it's okay for it to just be a hobby or just be something you do on the side. Just in the same way that even though I am a micro content creator with fewer than 100,000 followers across all of my social media platforms, I could be making more money than someone with 3 times as many followers as I have, just because I have really taken the time to learn negotiation skills as a business owner, to protect myself legally by filing trademarks, and really just being intentional and trying to build a business that I feel like is sustainable and can last the test of time. So just because you hit a certain follower milestone or just because you have a year where you make a certain amount of money doesn't mean you need to throw everything else away. And I really think that there is so much value that can be gained from being a full-time content creator. Even when I look at myself as an example, I created content on the side of being a college student, being a magazine editor, working at a tech startup for 8 years before I decided to take the leap and go all in on content creation, because I really had proof of time and I also had proof of concept, making 5 figures for 2 years in a row from my side hustle that helped me really justify and validate why I could see this being more of a career for myself. And you might know after just 1 year, you might not wait 8 years like I did, but I just really want to put that message out there because I know that sometimes it can feel like everybody is doing something or you should be doing something, but you really want to check in with your gut and ask yourself if you want to take on basically the responsibility of being self-employed and being a business owner. And whether you do or you don't, I am here to help with your content creation journey, whether you spend 1 hour a week on content creation or whether you spend 60 hours a week on content creation. So with that being said, definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I know a lot of you out there do watch and haven't yet subscribed because YouTube analytics don't lie. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. That is a free way to support my channel and let YouTube know that you really enjoy the content that I'm creating. Thank you all so much for being with me over the last 3 years. It has certainly been quite the journey. And if you are interested in taking content creation full time in 2024, be sure to check out the up next recommendation on the screen. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.